To Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with the house, not against it. I'm your host, Ariel Calista, author of Sports Betting Illuminated, an AI-powered path to profit. Good morning, Super Pro. Good morning, Spencer. Hello, Ken. It's so wonderful seeing all of you here bright and early this morning, ready to win some wagers. Oh yeah, so right in front of me here, I have my infrared illuminated book. I have my sports betting illuminated book. And make sure to go check out these books. Get the hard copy for yourself over in my store on arielcalista.com. It's so wonderful seeing you here. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Derek. Good morning, David. So nice waking up bright and early. I have my coffee here, still sipping it. It is only 11 a.m. after all. Thank you so much. Oh, DJ Ray, welcome in. So nice seeing you here bright and early on a Saturday morning too. Thank you so much for stopping in. And who's ready to win some wagers? I am. Hey, Tyler, how are you doing? All right, and so this morning the line movement has been a little slow. I do expect to send the daily report email after, it'll probably go out after 3 o'clock because there is really only one early, game that I'm looking at in college football before then. But other than that, like most of these lines have just been so slow, and there's not been a ton of movement. So you might want to watch some of these baseball games, just seeing how they develop, and just keep checking in. And of course the daily report, if you haven't already signed up for it, I will be breaking down all of these plays, the line movements, and we will be watching just for some of these like later afternoon movements. And you can sign up right now. Just going to arielcalista.com, click on the little button that says stay in touch. It's a free email. It goes out every day. No ads, no spam, no BS. Just me, my takes, sports information, line breakdowns, plus a little bit of a health corner, little pick of the day at the bottom. Picture of me every day, pick of the day too. What play that I like, and definitely, if there's no movement, we gotta play some good music. Can you guys hear that in the background? Okay, now I can actually hear it, so I hope you guys can too. I have been trying to make a little new fresh playlist to really switch things up here. Hey Anthony, hey Brian, it is so great to see you guys here joining in, tuning in early. Super Pro suggesting some good music, and yes, definitely time to go back to sleep. Alrighty. Well, thanks for stopping in and showing up and being a part of the stream super bright and early. Alright, so before we get started, I always like to say sit back, relax, and get your minds right to win some wagers. This has been just kind of a strain that's been growing in my yard. I had some strawberry cough, it mixed with some white widow, and now we have this beautiful new strain, which we haven't named yet. So I was thinking we could all think of a name here on air. But yeah, White Widow like really is super potent, but it's also a balanced hybrid too. You know, frosty white trichomes, just
perfect. And then strawberry cough, you know, it just has that like kind of almost a little bit of a fruity taste, but just a really nice balanced blend, especially for people who are like, you know, in pain or want, you know, to better recover. So yeah, thank you, DJ Ray. Definitely gonna rip one. How to get my mind right to win some of these wagers after all. It is a good strain, that's for sure. I like it a lot. So we really are experimenting, creating our new strains. Oh yeah, I definitely should be there in Ohio, because I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to this Texas-Ohio State game. I know I am. Plus, I have two plays that are looking like they're developing really well. So feel free to throw in your own takes on this game. I would love to see what your opinions are, and I know this is going to be hot. This is going to be watched by everyone. So we are going to kind of go through some games pretty fast here. We want to get through this, you know, get these wagers locked in by this, by the time this game starts at noon. And by the way, before we get started, just real quick, next week, well, I guess like this, yeah. So there is not going to be a Tuesday, no Tuesday stream, basically. We are moving it to Thursday. And it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys last streamer really helping me pick out some fun things for this bikini tailgate party, and we're just gonna have a blast here. It's gonna be great. So Thursday night, same time as always, 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to join me. And yeah, it's going to be Thursdays and Sundays. So this is the last Saturday show for a while. It is going to be on Sunday. So next Saturday, no show. But next Sunday, I will see you guys all there. Exactly. Party Thursday night. So no Tuesday night stream, but big party on Thursday. It's gonna be fun. Voted for some Ari burgers to get made, so hey, maybe I'll even grow one up live on air. I don't know. I'm still having issues with like internet just like outside my house. Like, come on, I have the fastest internet like now, like the super speed stuff, you know, to really get all my AI, like machine learning, you know, processes going. Like I needed to upgrade, but even still, it's like once I just go beyond like outside of the house, just it was crazy. I don't know. Anyways, let's dive into some baseball. So first, let's talk about the Rays versus Nationals game. You know, like I said, there hasn't been a ton of line movement, but this is what I've seen early on, and this is looking like a strong play. Right here in this game, I'm looking at the total. It opened under 9 even money. That's where this Rays Nationals game opened up at. But then, since the opening, it has moved to under 8.5, minus 101. This is looking like a pretty strong underplay at this moment, and you know, I think it's developing really nicely. I like the under here in this Rays Nationals game, you know, just not thinking like a lot of runs today in this, and yeah, I like this underplay. It's going in the right direction for sure. Bikini Bash tailgate, absolutely. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, of course, please, seriously, join me for this Thursday show. If you're around, if you have the time, stop by and we'll definitely have a good time. So, yeah, I'm glad you guys are, you know, I hope you guys will enjoy this schedule, and I'm glad you guys have been sticking with me, even though our schedule has changed. And it will, you know, change this coming week. All right, so let's look at this Cardinals-Reds game in baseball. This is a 6:40 p.m. Eastern game, and I'm watching this total as well, but it's looking a little odd right now, just all things considered with the line movement. It opened under 8.5, even money. Then it moved to under 8.5 minus 119. So the sportsbook is clearly moving this line towards the under here. I mean, it goes from even money to minus 119 on an under. But the weird thing about this is that there's level 3 money taking over. So a lot of people are taking the over here. And it's a lot of money, but the sportsbook is moving in the other direction. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'm not in love with this play. All right. So you took the under 8.5, Thomas. Let's go. That is a play that I like a lot in that, Nationals Rays game. So I think it's going to be a strong underplay. That's the one play I really see developing this morning in baseball. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out my AI models, see which way the wind is blowing, and yeah, it really does affect things. Alrighty, so moving on to this Mariners-Guardians game. This is a 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern game, and this total has also been acting a little weird. Like I said, these movements are really some of the only movements that I've seen so far on the board. Like, not a lot has been moving around, but the things that have been moving just a little bit oddly. Like, for example, this opened up under 7.5, minus 105, and now it's sitting under 7.5, minus 122. It's looking like this is going to drop to under 7 very soon, but there's level 5 money on the over. So with all of this over money and this line going in the opposite direction, it definitely makes me pause. I don't know, the lines and the money just are not moving in the same direction today, and so far this is the second time we've seen this. All right, you're finding enough for some even money. Nice, Thomas. And let's look at this Rangers Athletics game. This is a 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern game, and let's look at this total. Now, this one is looking a little bit better than, the past two games that we've seen so far. It did open under 11, minus 120. And right now is sitting under 10.5, minus 116 on a lot of mixed money. So the money isn't really moving this line in one way or the other, and it doesn't look like the sportsbook is moving really particularly against the money. It just looks like they're dropping this line. They already dropped it by a half a point, but it still seems like, with the odds sitting at minus 116 right now, they are, it seems like they're trying to get people to take the over, but right now the money is pretty mixed. All right, Thomas, let's go. Yes, I think with at Major League Baseball, WNBA, college football, that is where all of the lines are moving today. Like, that is it. So I've seen that. Hey, Red Pills, how are you doing? Welcome in. So nice seeing you here. Yeah, well, I definitely think this is the line that you might want to watch. This is a 10 o'clock p.m. game, but I would say wait before locking in this play. Even though this line is moving under and it's moving under on mixed money, there's still, plenty of time until this game starts. Like, plenty of time. So, I do want to see how this develops a little bit more. But truthfully, all of the focus has been on college football today. And you know what? There are some really big games, so we will be looking into that. Yeah, Super Pro. All right, you like the Dodgers today. Interesting. I haven't really seen too many lines moving in that game, but you like them. That's cool. I hope they win. Are you taking the run line or the money line there? Or are you still just looking at the lines? Let me know. I see right now the run line is sitting at minus 1.5, minus 110. And this money line went from minus 233 to minus 220. So, yeah, I do see a lot of money on the Dodgers. That's for sure. So far, a lot of money, but not a ton of line movement. I'd like to see a little bit more. I'd like to see a little bit more line movement. Hey, that's okay, Red Pilled. You know what? I'm just happy you're here, joining the stream, giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, following along, and, you know, locking in some winner wagers. Alright, you're taking a run line. Yeah, that's definitely looking better at like minus 110. Even some spots have it at minus 105 right now. So. Oh my gosh, super pro. Well, that's definitely an interesting way of looking at things. I have never heard that take before, but I like it. It's different. Now, I did want to just go over this one game that I know you guys are probably dying to hear about in college football, because this is a 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern game, and, you know, time is running out a little bit. I just want to make sure everyone can lock it in early. And it's the Texas Longhorns Ohio State game. It's at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So really in just like 40 minutes from now. So this is why I want to dive into this early. So first, let's look at the spread here. So it opened up, the Longhorns opened up +3, so they were the underdogs, but right now they're sitting at +1.5. Okay, now the music got a little loud. Just adjusting that. This is interesting because there's level 1 pro money on this, you know, Longhorn spread, and it's really interesting, you know, seeing a little bit of pro money coming in here. I'm not evaluating this like this just because you know, it's my school, but seriously, Tyler likes this. Go Texas. And just the way this line is moving, just looking off at that specifically, it went from +3 to +1.5. Would I be, you know, like surprised to see this, you know, slide even more? I don't know, maybe. You know, I think this line could move even more in the right direction for Texas, but right now there's level 1 pro money. Not a ton of pro, it's a lowercase p. You guys know my designations if you read the key in the daily report, but there is a bit of pro money coming in here, and this line is moving in the right direction. So, you know, this is looking like a nice little, especially if you're an action player, if you want to play the Texas spread today, this is looking like a nice little play on the Longhorns spread for the action players out there. It's moving in the right direction, but I do have a play in this game that I think is even stronger and more solid. And that's the total. I liked the under right from the beginning, like literally right from the beginning. I saw it open 50.5, then it started going down right away, dropped to 49.5, grabbed it, went to 47, and right now there's mixed money. There's some pro money, some pretty strong pro money on this under. But the money is still mixed, but this is looking really good. I would still take the under even at 47 because I think this is going to be a very defensive game, you know. Yeah, it's going to be a defensive game. So I think this is looking like a good little underplay even at 47 right now. And yeah, I like it. Oh wow, you think it would go below 44? Interesting. All right. So, what is? Does anyone have a number for below 44 right now in this game? Under 44? that's a lot, but you know what? I mean, if you're an action player out there, you know, you might want to take a little step stool, ladder out this under, ladder under this under. I don't know. You're thinking the LSU Clemson game might be an under. You know what? It could be. I have been tracking this. This under has not been moving in this LSU Clemson game, but I would like to see it move a little bit more. You know, before I mean, I think it's going to be defensive for sure, but I just have not seen this line move like I have seen it move in this Longhorns Buckeyes game. I mean, LSU Clemson, it opened up at 56.5 minus 110. It's still just sitting there. I'm like, come on, let's see a little bit of movement. But the lines are also a little bit slow to develop today. But I really, really love this under in this Texas-Ohio State game. I think this is going to be a solid underplay. It's going to be a very defensive game. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And just remember, this starts in like literally 30 minutes from now. So I want to make sure you lock in your plays early. And for you action players out there, it really does look like this, you know, Texas spread is moving in the right direction with a little bit of pro money backing it up. So it is interesting seeing this move. Yeah, you know, yeah, a lot of people are watching this Penn State Nevada game as well. Of course, I'm watching this, and of course, this is going to be a blowout, but I'm looking at these numbers and, you know, it's like, do we really think this is going to be like 40 plus points? Like, are they really going to win by 40 plus points? That's what I'd like to ask you guys. Like, what do you guys think about this? It just seems like a lot. And in Penn State, they usually do keep games tight. But it's sitting at plus 42.5 right now. It opened up at plus 46.5. So, you know, it does seem like the spread is starting to move closer to that 40-point mark. But I mean, I'm like, is Nevada really that bad? Like, is it going to be 42.5 point blowout? It just seems like a lot to me, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I mean, it is possible that Nevada just doesn't score at all, but I don't know. I mean, then you start looking at the total of this game and it's sitting at 54.5 right now. So they're not like expecting, you know, I mean, yeah, Nevada's gonna have to focus on stopping a run, right? Yeah, I think you're right. There will be some first half bruises for sure, and I don't know, seeing this total go from 59.5 to 54.5, the spread moving from 46.5 to 42.5, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as everyone says it's going to be. Like, and right, exactly. I think, yeah, I mean, I think Nevada could get a few points here or there for sure. I don't think they're gonna not score entirely, although it is possible. It is possible. And just considering that Penn State kind of typically likes to keep their games a little bit closer, I don't know, just 40 points seems like a lot here. It definitely seems like almost too much, especially because it's a 54.5 point total, and it's like, could they really be that bad? 2 points. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Tyler. It is the first week. Like, who really knows? Nobody. And, you know, in college, it's a lot more unpredictable than it is, like, in the NFL. And that's just a fact, like, especially, you know, then you have to start like evaluating like even deeper into these teams and like who are the backup players, and it's just it's a lot to look at. And it's a little bit easier in the NFL for sure. Just not so much. You are not allowed to bet the other team by more than 25 at Penn State. Yeah, I mean, it seems like, you know, they put this line out expecting that, you know, a lot of people are gonna bite on this being a complete blowout, but I don't know. We'll see here. I can't say like I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as people think, and, you know, maybe grabbing Nevada at, you know, plus 42.5 might be something if you're like really an action player you might want to look at. Maybe. But still, you know, use your own judgment here. But yeah, it just seems like a lot, like too much. And considering the spread is starting to move, I don't know, I would say maybe the sports books are thinking the same thing. So you say that it's at 46.5 now. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's okay. 46.5 is okay. I liked it a lot at the open. But yeah, you know, shop around a little bit, see if they still have it at 47 in some spots. It really does seem like, you know, people are starting to wake up and hammer the under. So, you know, line shop around a little bit for sure. Now, I did want to talk about something, do a little 2-minute drill before we continue on with some more plays. Let me just take a cannabis rip, and we're going to dive right on into it, because a lot of people are betting on horses this time of year, of course, you know, especially, you know, right now, like Saratoga, everyone's out there, it's beautiful weather, and you know, it's just a lot of people are having issues with this computer-assisted wagering systems that are out there, especially in horse racing. So I wanted to dive into that and really just talk about that a little bit more. All right, 47.5 at FanDuel. Interesting. All right. Love enjoying some homegrown flour. All right. So do you guys like betting on horses? I know I was doing a show about a year ago, Smoke the Stakes. It was a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, you know, it's hard to really, you know, do a lot of like intensive focus on handicapping like all of these leagues professionally, like at the same time. You know, Major League Baseball, WNBA, college football, NFL, like it is getting a little crazy right now. And then diving into the horse racing and, you know, looking at the horse racing forums and diving into the numbers there, it does require some intense concentration. But, you know, truthfully, you know, with AI, all these things happening now, some pretty cool tools are being created, you know, whether proprietary or public, you know, things are starting to change to, you know, make a lot of this analysis easier. But, you know, recently, yesterday, actually, I followed Matt Stack on Substack, and he was recently at Saratoga, and, you know, he's broadcasting from there, taking his picture there. It's, you know, a lot of people love going up to Saratoga in the summer. I do, absolutely. I have to, you know, even go back up to upstate New York, even though it's not going to be racing and stuff, maybe in the fall, just because colors and nature. It's so pretty. But, you know, a lot of these people are staying at Saratoga and then they're getting mad at Kentucky Downs because they just raised takeout just a little bit. They raised takeout, and they are also allowing computer-assisted wagering systems and syndicates to come in and, you know, make these bets. And at the last minute, you know, sometimes, you know, these systems will make, you know, what, these odds fluctuate wildly, I mean, truthfully, and sometimes they really do come in at the last minute. Thanks so much, Anthony. And it's true, it took science. It's like you only have so many hours in a day, and I'm also running my businesses full time on top of that. Like I'm not just gambling. Even though it is fun, even though I do it professionally, I also work. And you know, so everyone's getting mad at Kentucky Downs. Like a lot of people out there are saying, I'm never going to play at Kentucky Downs again because they've raised the takeout. They're allowing all these computer wagering systems, syndicates, you know, to come through. And I mean, truthfully, in horse racing, it's different than a sports book. These are pari-mutuel wagers that you're making, pari-mutuel pools. So, you know, I mean, what you get paid also depends on all the other people that are coming into the pool and how much money they're putting down. And that's how things start changing all the time. So, you know, what the odds are looking like at the start, like it's not always what it is like at the end, like when, you know, when the race starts. And people know that at the sports book and horse racing. And usually, like, especially if you're in Las Vegas, you're at the casino, they do have one side for, like, horses and one side for sports. Even though it's all kind of in the same area. But, so people are getting really mad about this, right? But I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of perspective, especially, like, as an AI and machine learning expert myself. So let's just dive into the numbers. So people are getting mad. Let's address the first point, raising the takeout. So at Kentucky Downs, I mean, you're looking like a 16% takeout with win, place, show, 19% on exotics, sometimes even 14% on a pick 5 promo. Whereas Saratoga, I mean, also same win, place, show, but then, you know, when it comes to trifectas, supers, you know, pick 4, pick 5, pick 6, you're looking at a full 24% takeout, which is way higher than Churchill Downs and Kentucky Downs. I mean, you're looking at, I mean, it's much higher. So it's a full 24% takeout. And now let's just compare this to the sports books, right? So straight bets, you're pretty much looking at like a 4 to 6% hold, you know, but when it comes to live betting markets and props, it's a 6 to 10%. And then when it comes to parlays and future bets, you're looking at 10 to 30%. And this past Super Bowl, Nevada books held 14.6%. In New York, same game parlays were holding over 30%. And even FanDuel was touching some for 40%. Which is crazy. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for joining in. Yes, college football day. We just covered some bets there, but I will just review them real quick again at the end once we cover this 2-minute drill. So think about this. You know, people are complaining about a little bit of a higher hold when it comes to Kentucky Downs, but at the sports book, I mean, takeout versus the sports book, you know, you're looking at, you know, sometimes these 30+% holds, which is a lot of money, truthfully, looking at it. And then think about it, these computer assisted wagering systems that are being used by, you know, a lot of times overseas syndicates when it comes to horse racing, a lot of times these systems are 5, 6 years old. They're very old. And considering, the deep machine learning models that we have available to us today, I truly believe it would be easy for somebody to create, a better system that's using more advanced technology, looking at different factors like, the stride length of the horses, being able to tell when a horse is getting fatigued. These are all things that the sports books already have access to and are using against us every single day when we go and lay a wager, place a bet on a game. These are, the advanced metrics that all of the sports books are using. And then when it comes to computer-assisted, wagering, when it comes to horse racing, a lot of their technology is a lot older and, in my opinion, a little bit clunkier. So, I would say, if you're complaining about this, at Kentucky Downs, maybe just ask, why are you betting into sports books where where their AI models are way sharper than any of these computer-assisted wagering systems, so much sharper. And they're also charging the bettor just as much, if not more. So just think about it, keep this in the back of your mind, and, just remember, horse racing data, it's cheap, it's easy to find, it's consistent, it's standardized, versus sports data. It's very expensive, it's fragmented, it's hard to obtain. I mean, I've talked to companies where, it's $20,000 per league. Like, if you just want NFL data, it's going to be $20,000 pretty much a month just to get the data. And it's expensive versus horse racing where, you have less of a barrier to entry. And truthfully, with the amount of open source, codes and libraries and things that are available for people to use, I just think that ultimately we need to be focusing on creating a better system that everyone can access, perhaps a subscription for people who want to use computer-assisted wagering and horse racing. And I think that's possible. I want to create it. Seriously, I want to do what I'm doing in sports betting and bring it to the horse racing world. So I think truly once people actually have a real tool set like that, a little bit beyond kind of what Equibase is doing, but even more advanced with some, true machine learning, deep learning models, we can have something really powerful there. So yeah, it is a big day for the ponies. Oh no, Super Pro. Actually, I mean, what they're doing with, all the satellite tracking data and of course, RFID, we were already talking about that in the daily report just a couple days ago. But of course, this is happening on, in horse racing just as much as it's happening out there in the sports world. And, I just hope that ultimately one day this advantage could be a little bit more distributed equally, so people could, maybe for a cheap subscription have access to all of it and create their own models of what really works for them. That's that's what I care about. So we all get sharper. Now, okay, it is 11:40. For those of you who just got in here, we were looking at this Texas Longhorns Ohio State game. It's at 12 o'clock in just 20 minutes. And I did like how this Texas spread is moving. There's a little bit of pro money here. It's moving in the right direction. It's a little bit more of an action play for me, but I really like this under. And we just, the chat just pointed out that FanDuel is still offering under 47.5. Some spots have already moved this to under 46.5. So line shop around, people, and I like this under. It's looking really solid. I grabbed it earlier under 49.5 when I saw it move right away. So grabbed that up immediately, and I think this is going to be a very, very defensive game. So it would be fun to watch for sure. And it does look like this Texas spread for you action players is moving in the right direction here. Absolutely, definitely look out for my Soul Ray bracelets on the Texas boosters, on the moms of some of the Texas players. Yeah, I recently sent my Soul Ray jewelry out there, and it's getting into the hands of the right people who actually really could use it for recovery, especially before, after practice. Like, truthfully, your joints take so much impact. So just having a far infrared, having that wearable health technology that you could just carry throughout the day, you know, that's actually backed by science and laboratory results, is incredibly important for people. So I'm just happy it's getting out there into people's hands, and people are starting to realize, like, this technology is real. Far infrared is a thing. I mean, I was at Kohl's the other day and I see these pants with, I mean, I'm sure they're using the ceramic nanotiles to create the fabric. And that's another way of, you know, allowing your body's own thermal energy to get turned into far infrared energy. But the glass beads, the Soul Ray jewelry, different things that I'm making like this, like the clear beads for sure. Same kind of technology, but just in a different form. You know, it's in glass and crystal and water. Alrighty. Oh yes, definitely. You could use a Herbie for your back. I think, like, if you have a back brace or something. I've seen people like put their Herbies, like it's like this flat disc, into like their knee braces. Like, do I have one here to show you guys? I know it's somewhere, but I've seen it. People put it into like their knee braces, and then like suddenly their knees are feeling better, and it really does work. It works on animals too. I mean, it worked beautifully on Biscuit. Just, she went from not wagging her tail, like hardly getting out of bed, to wagging her tail for the first time in over a year, and zoomies. So it gives little animals, like especially, like a lot of good energy. But horses, works on horses too. It's just a really good technology, you know, light energy that, you know, is backed by science. So I hope more people learn about it for sure. Okay, so let's dive into this Alabama game versus Florida State. This is a 3:30 p.m. Eastern game. And I just want to open this up for discussion. What do you guys think about this game? What is your take? Are you playing anything here? Money lines, spreads, totals? I want to hear your take on this game. Absolutely. I love it. I know we do have some far infrared users right here. I know Derek has a far infrared lamp for his mother, and some far infrared jewelry handmade by moi. So I love it. Plus, holidays are coming around the corner. Let me know if you guys want anything custom for your friends or family. Happy to make anything custom for you guys. Whatever it is you want, just let me know and we'll create it together. Also, yeah, Ken has bought so many like books on far infrared, showing people, you know, the real technology. I love when these books are given out to people, because every single chapter, you know, has a whole like list of all of the scientific studies, and other books just, you know, it's hard to find that out there truly. So now you could go look it up, make sure everything is like exactly what it says it is. Absolutely, Anthony, I'd totally be happy to make you some far infrared like goodie bag or something. Send you a sauna. I love it. I love it. Ken Leah wearing 2 bracelets right now. That is fantastic. I seriously love making these little like custom jewelry pieces, and of course I am getting even more pieces that are just like the clear all around for people who want that extra, like, you know, they don't need all the decoration, they don't need the custom, but they just want like the real just like therapeutic strength stuff. Getting some pieces made for that as well. Okay, so you think that the game will be a little hot, a little cold. Money will move around until the end of the game. Wow, that almost sounds like an Ari take. I have seen this Alabama spread open up at -12.5, and it did move out to -14, which is interesting. And, you know, I just haven't seen like a ton of movement happening here. This total opened up at 50.5 and has since moved to 48.5, which is interesting as well. So there is a little bit of movement that I see going on, but at this moment I just don't have a play in this game. So I really would love to hear your thoughts on this and, you know, what you see going on. I do see, let's see, okay, Alabama. So it did move to -14, and actually it's sitting at -13.5 right now in some spots. So it looks like the line moved out and then came back a little bit. And this total is still sitting 48.5, -110 everywhere. That's kind of what I see. So it did drop a little bit. I just don't have a play right now. I haven't seen the lines move enough. I see a lot of mixed money on the board at this moment. Yes. Thanks so much for explaining Silvery and just, you know, giving your testimonies on how powerful it is. So I do see this line dropping a little, this total dropping a little bit. This Alabama spread is bouncing around. So we saw it move out to -14. Move back to -13.5. It's looking a little more shaky to me at this moment. Virginia. Let me take a look at this and see what's going on. There might have been some movement that's developed. Huh. I'm not seeing a ton going on here right now. I do see a lot of people are taking this Virginia money line. It is going in the right direction. The spread is just really kind of like split money at this moment, and it's just kind of sitting there at -13.5. I'm not seeing a ton of movement. Let me just check this total as well. Yeah, I'm just not seeing a ton of movement happening at this moment in this game. Just, you know, it's just not quite meeting my parameters right now. I did try to look around, you know, see if there's a little bit of movement. Yeah, I see 57 as well. But it opened up at 56.5. So at this moment, just considering like a half a point for movement, I just don't really see anything developing. But it doesn't mean that things can't develop later. Seriously. Alrighty, so we did discuss already Nevada versus Penn State, and I was just saying that, and I still truly believe this, like I still believe that, you know, 42.5 is a lot. You know, I am looking at, you know, potentially taking Nevada plus 42.5. I just don't think this is going to be like as big of a blowout as everyone says it's going to be, but you know, Also, the spread is kind of starting to move. It went from plus 46.5 to plus 42.5. But I don't have a play here at this moment. Like, I'm just watching how the lines are moving. But like I said, I will put the daily report out around 3 o'clock. But this total is looking like it's starting to develop too. It went from 59.5 to 54.5 with some under money. Then I have been watching the Temple Owls versus UMass. This is another 3:30 p.m. Eastern game. This total opened up at 52.5, and then it quickly dropped to 48.5 on mixed money. So, you know, considering how much it's moved on mixed money, this is interesting. I would keep my eye on it. Not quite a play at this moment. Utah. Let's take a look at some of the most recent numbers and see what's going on here. Okay, looking like a lot of mixed money so far in this Utah game. Yeah, okay, so Utah opened up at -3.5. I see in a lot of spots it's just kind of sitting at -5.5, so it did start moving out, and it started moving out on mixed money, which is interesting. A lot of mixed money. Definitely. I would say, Anthony, I would recommend using a few different websites to track the money. You know, just kind of off the top of my head right now, you know, Action Network is really good at showing different, you know, money splits, things like that. You could also go to wagertalk.com, and, you know, if you look at the odds, they show a lot of money from a lot of different sports books as well. And I would say, you know, look across a few solid sports books, you know, like look at, you know, like some of the older sports books that are more established, you know, for example, like MGM, Caesars, Circa, Superbook. Like, these are long time established sports books in Las Vegas where a lot of sharps hang out. So that's really where you're going to find where the sharp money is, versus, you know, checking money from like more local sports books, or, you know, even a lot of these like, you know, more online sports books, or things that started off as like fantasy sports turned sports books. You know, a lot of these, you know, companies have just, you know, a lot of like the regular wagering public, so it might not be as indicative of like where, you know, a lot of the real sharp money is versus a lot of square money, because there's just a lot of general public users. So check around, and yeah, check a variety of sports books as well. That's really where you start seeing, you know, like, oh, this, you know, kind of is all aligning, and that's how you could really see a lot of this money movement, and, you know, validate it with other sports books and seeing other sharps at other sports books and seeing what they're doing. All right, so let's take a look at this LSU Clemson game. I know we already started talking about this earlier. This is a 7:30 p.m. Eastern game, and Clemson did open up -3, -110, and then it went to -4, -110 on some mixed money. There was some pro money on LSU, which is interesting, but this line is moving out in the right direction for Clemson. But the pros, a few pros are on LSU. So it's interesting, but I don't have a play here at this exact moment. The total has just been sitting here, like not doing a thing. 56.5 -110 is where it's open up and where it's at all day. Then moving on to Missouri State versus USC. This is another 7:30 p.m. Eastern game. I have been watching this USC spread. I don't have a play here yet, but I have been keeping my eye on this. It went from -33.5 to -36.5 on mixed money. So keep your eyes on this USC spread. It's already moved 3 points in the right direction for USC, and it's moved on mixed money. Not a lot of sharp money moving it, but the sports book moving it. So interesting. Okay. Okay, let's look at UTEP versus Utah State. 7:30 p.m. Eastern game, and Utah State went from -3.5 to -6. There is level 1 pro money on Utah State, and it is looking like a lot of pros are hopping in on Utah State right now. It's looking pretty good. So keep your eye on Utah State on the spread here. It's moving in the right direction. I like seeing all these pros coming in and looking at this as well. And all right, let's just look at this Georgia State versus Ole Miss game. This is at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Georgia State opened up at +37.5 and has moved to +34.5 on mixed money. So it seems like this is starting to move in the right direction for Georgia State. You know, just keep your eye on this one. Anything could still happen, but it is on the move. Alrighty, and let's just cover a few more games. I was looking at Rice versus Louisiana as well. This is an 8 p.m. Eastern game. Rice went from +14.5 to +10.5 with Rice money. There were some pros jumping in here on Rice, so make sure to check this one out too later on. You know, there's still plenty of time till the game, 8 hours. But a few pros are jumping in on this Rice spread, so keep your eye on this one. We are tracking it. And let's look at UTSA versus Texas A&M. This is a 9 p.m. Eastern game. Plenty of time, 9 hours till the game starts. The spread is interesting. It went from -20.5 to -23.5 on mixed money, but it's just looking like there's so much square money in here that it really does scare me. So not my favorite at this moment, just because there's so many squares, so much square money. Really, it's like square money is pushing the line. And finally, let's look at one more line movement, which I've been keeping track of. It's Hawaii versus Arizona. This is a 10:30 p.m. Eastern game, and Arizona went from -12.5 to -16.5 on mixed money. So it does look like, you know, this spread is going in the right direction for Arizona at this moment. The sportsbook is moving this without really a ton of money pushing it, and keep your eye on this one for sure. Keep your eye on this. But it's a 10:30 p.m. Eastern game. Plenty of time. I wouldn't lock into a bet quite yet, but keep your eye on it. Now, it is a holiday weekend, of course. Everyone has Monday off, and I'm sure you guys will be having some fun. You know, maybe you're having a cookout, maybe you're just going to a friend's place, having some drinks. So I wanted to just tell you about some new studies that have happened in CBD and CBD with alcohol. First of all, you know, a lot of people are out there drinking, but there are also a lot of people out there who are drinking alcohol and they want to stop. You know, maybe they're abusing it or using it irresponsibly. A new study recently found that CBD, and this was, in rats, this was a study in a rat trial, it found that CBD actually reduces the symptoms of alcohol withdrawal, and it also reduces the risk of relapse. So if, you are out, with your friends, family, and you feel like, hey, like, I'm trying to stay sober here, but there's all this alcohol around me, consider just consuming some CBD maybe before the event. It's not psychoactive, it won't get you high. But in this study, they did find, like, especially, in rats, and, they do a lot of, rat studies before, they test humans. They do find that it really, like, decreases the risk of relapse and reduces the symptoms of alcohol withdrawal, so you don't feel as bad. And also, it doesn't make alcohol's sedative effects more potent. And that's another interesting factor, is if you are consuming alcohol, CBD is not going to, make it more potent for you. It's not going to, like, increase your your, you know, drunken state in any way. Yeah, it just does not potentiate alcohol sedative effects. All right, here we go. That's so funny. You know what? CBD roller for back pain. I love that. I am actually in a process. I just ordered a whole bunch of different ingredients on making a pain. I want to make a pain like an oil-based product for pain, but also like a wax stick based product that you could just rub on for pain. And I've had a crazy CBD pain roller in the past, which was just so immensely popular, but at the same time I was just having too many issues with packaging, and it was just so popular that, you know, we decided to reformulate things a little bit, and I'm really excited to release this for you guys. It will be, I mean, it might not have CBD from the start. I'm, you know, working more with far infrared, you know, materials that are really going to put the far infrared back into your body. And then of course, maybe eventually like moving on to CBD and adding that in. It's just, there's so many more restrictions with CBD, you know, creating CBD pain products. It's crazy. And it's like, it's just CBD. There's no reason we need to still like restrict business like crazy after passing this law in literally 2018. Like, it's almost been a decade. I don't know why we haven't figured this out yet. But seriously, I mean, they're even finding out right now that cannabis seeds, if they're used during the beer brewing process, it actually enhances the nutritional value of your beer. And I'm sure it makes it taste a whole lot better too. But beer that's like, you know, very it has a lot of hops, like hoppy like flavor, like it really has like cannabinoids in it, and you know, cannabis has cannabinoids in it, so it just makes sense that it pairs perfectly together, improves your endocannabinoid system by supplementing with cannabinoids and putting you back in a balance, homeostasis. That's what it's all about. So yeah, malted hemp seeds, like when you introduce that into the beer brewing process, I don't know if any of you guys are brewing your own beers at home. Let me know if you are. That is freaking awesome if you are. But seriously, malted hemp seeds, it improves the release of the B group of vitamins. So yeah, it shows that 30% malted hemp seeds really shows the highest concentrations of like B vitamins. So it's really good for you. And at the same time, it might make it even taste better. Who knows? All right. Well, that is a wrap for today. Hope you guys locked in this Texas-Ohio State play. You know, for you action players, I was liking this Texas spread, and my strongest play for sure is this under in this game. So I like that play a lot. In baseball, the one play that I really like is the under in this Braves Nationals game. It's looking very strong at this moment, and a lot of these lines, like I said earlier, are just still developing, so we're gonna watch and wait and see how they do. Cannabinoids sound like an alien race. You know what though, you know, I guess because like it's been so hot for a few days this summer, one of my cannabis seeds, I thought I had all like feminized seeds, but one of them actually grew a male cannabis plant. I guess that could happen with, you know, like the right heat. And it has been crazy just seeing how many bumblebees are in my yard. I'm like, oh my lord, if we want to save the bees, we should all just start growing cannabis. Like, it's just that easy. Like, they're literally anywhere between like 15 to 25 bees on my like single like male cannabis plant at any given time. So it's actually crazy. So maybe cannabis cannabinoids are from another planet. I don't know. Alrighty, everyone. I hope you guys have a wonderful winning weekend. Yeah, let's win some of our wagers today. I will send out the daily report at 3 o'clock, so make sure to sign up for it. It's really easy to join. arielcalista.com, click on the button that says stay in touch. Super easy, and like I said, you got all of these winning plays of the day. So every day a new play goes out. We've hit a little bit of a rock here or there, but we've had such a hot streak going on for weeks that it's honestly been unreal and a whole lot fun too. And one more thing, my current ROIs in the WNBA is 46.1% with a 75% win rate. Major League Baseball, 45.3% with a 70% win rate. So just doing really well. So make sure to follow along for all these winners where I break down the lines every single day. And I provide like the little health corner, coaching corner sections of the email, always giving you guys some good information, plus a picture of me at the end of every email every single day. All of this is free. You don't get bombarded with ads or any other thing. I mean, it is just me. And of course, you could reply back to any of the emails anytime by just hitting the reply button, asking me questions, writing anything you want, or even just saying hi. I love to hear from you. And of course, also join my Substack as well. I'm posting new articles all the time. It is Ariel Calista on Substack. That is my username. Super easy to find me. Read some of these articles because it will help you become a better handicapper. And thank you everyone for joining the stream today. I hope you have a wonderful winning weekend. Happy Saturday, and I will see you guys all for Thursday night football. This is going to be so fun. I'm making Ari burgers, wearing a bikini. I cannot wait. Thank you so much for coming, and let's do some winning. Bye everyone.